Maybe we can start with a quick introduction, and people can join when they go. We have about 45 minutes on this session, and Adebola is going to do a good presentation here on AI and the future of content marketing, and very much looking forward to it. And this is part of a tutorial series, and we have 3 more presentations over the next few weeks, which should be very, very interesting for everybody. Just as a very quick reminder, if I can. Let's say, on why Ireland and why we are doing this. Women in AI, in general, is a non-profit organization working towards gender inclusive AI that benefits everybody, all the society. Our mission is to increase female representation and participation in AI, female and diverse in general. We're all volunteers, so bear with us a bit. And we have Women in AI is actually in over 100 countries now. We have 30 plus ambassadors and over 5,000 members all over the world. And we try to get community events, build a community, and do educational events, including those WaiTUTORIAL and WaiPractice, and publish and research as well. In terms of Ireland, we have you can find all our events on LinkedIn in Women in AI Ireland. So that's about it for the intro. Very, very quick. I don't know if you'd be ready to start, Adebola.
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, everyone. Again, I'll share my screen now.
We can have a quick question and answer session at the end of it as well. If anybody, don't hesitate to put your question.
Hey, Docs, we ready?
Yep.
Okay, so hello, everyone. So my name is Adebola, and I am the communications lead at Women in AI. I'm also leading an agency here in Ireland called Different. And it's just an exciting one for me with AI and getting to this point with AI marketing. And I think something I always like to start my, something I like to start my presentations when it comes to AI and marketing with is where the intersection happened. I don't know how many of you here can just share in the chat as well. I'll get to read it afterwards. Where did you first hear about AI? Like, what was happening to you? Where were you? What conversations were you having? What page were you on when you experienced or just heard about AI? Or you're like, you know what, that was like your own moment where you started getting really curious. It'd be nice to know, but for me, I remember very well because I worked at HubSpot till just a month ago, very recent. And I was having a conversation with our CTO, who is also the co-founder for HubSpot, Damesh. And in that session, we're just talking about technology and, what was going to be happening very soon. The meeting was mainly just for personas, about CTOs and all of that. And then we had this thing where I was talking to him about YouTube Shorts. That anytime I go on YouTube Shorts, I come out of YouTube Shorts crying. Like I'm either seeing a video about Kobe Bryant when he died, his family, or they're showing me something about, Michael Jordan, something really, really like that gets me just really, really crying about people's lives and how they made it through. And he was like, no, that he's never seen anything like that. I'm like, what, really? It was like, yeah, they always see serious stuff, like a talk here, and that some techie, nice, code just came out of this and that, like really, really serious stuff. And it was like, that's algorithm. That's the power of algorithm and where algorithm is currently, making sure that we see what would, have an impact on each of us. So he then said a word, he said, now imagine what AI will do. I think for me, that was the OA moment. Like, I just went like, what AI will do. I got out of that session. For him, I'm sure it was just like, yeah, nice session with Adebola, bye. I left that session. I went on, I was like, what AI will do. Adebola, you need to be at the forefront of what AI will do. What is this AI? How does this AI work? And that's where my journey into AI started. And then I started to research a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, I found myself at University of Virginia. They're the only ones then offering AI and marketing courses. I took those courses. And it was when I took those courses, I also realized that many other companies, I think it was the main example they used during the course was for Chevrolet. And then I found out that many companies already use AI. And I was asking myself, well, have I been living on the rock, like under a rock or something? And even researching after then, speaking about AI in very many events, and having to read about it, study about companies that are using it, I got to understand that so many other companies are actually using AI in an interesting way already. And it's interesting to see now what the next level will be. And when I was thinking about talking about AI and content, I didn't want to do AI and content marketing. I wanted to do the future because every day you wake up now, you're seeing something new that you didn't see the day before when it comes to AI. So you're like, you can't talk about AI like it's in the present. You need to talk about it like it's in the future. Maybe that way we can still look forward to something rather than something that we talked about now and then boom, it's old already. What's new? So today's session is really not so much about what AI and content marketing is doing today and what it's going to do. This session is mainly to make you think about what the future of content marketing will be, how things are going to be in a few years when it comes to content marketing. Because in a world where innovation is driving progress, how are those two powerful forces going to come together? Artificial intelligence and content marketing. So today we're just going to embark on this journey, exploring how the synergy between technology and creativity is reshaping the fabric of marketing. So buckle up, guys, because we're going to delve into realms where imagination and algorithm will come together. And at the end of the day, what we want them to see is a future of content marketing where there are no bounds, an innovation-filled world which has no bounds. And that's where I'm like coming here to also say, how do you now start looking at it and imagine the power of technology? How does it reshape our future? What all this is about is how do we build an AI tool that is a visionary partner that helps us to create content that doesn't just meet the needs of everyone. It dictates the needs of each person before they even know that they have that need. That's it. That's like, if you live here with nothing, live here with that. But we're thinking about AI in a way for content marketing that rather than creating content that serves everyone, how do we create content that talks to, complies with, supports, helps, interacts, collaborates with each person in a way that they didn't even know that they wanted to be collaborated with, So that exactly is where we're going. So how are we now going to get there? A few slides to get us there. So let's keep going, right? Let's go. Now, how is AI contributing to this? AI right now is like a collaborator, that's your person. AI is that person that is making sure that it's amplifying human creativity. So it's not a competitor. A lot of people are saying, oh, AI, well, I know we've all had those conversations. AI will take a job, AI will take, we all know now that it's more like your collaborator. It's your paddy. Like where I come from in Nigeria, we have that balance of paddy. Like that's my friend. That's the person that I deal with. That's the person I roll with. When somebody asks me to show up and I'm like, oh my goodness, normally I can't show up in a place like this because I don't know what to say. AI is that collaborator that helps you find that confidence. It puts those two little heels on your toes and gets you standing up straight and going like, yep, smart, what do you need? That's what AI is meant to be. It's meant to help you, embrace it as a teammate. And when you are able to embrace it as a teammate, you get more out of it than trying to find out how you can actually compete with it. Someone was telling me a few days ago and saying, yeah, I've been trying ChatGPT and generative AI for a few days now, but I just feel like I can do better than it is doing. So what I'm doing is that I just put it aside and I'm writing now the way I used to write because that's more me. And I'm like, why? Why do you want to like stay back, because we get into a space very soon where that's the way of life, the way we use social media today. That's it. So the earlier you get on board with things like that, the better. And then it's going to be transforming ideas into tangible. Now, before you have an idea, you have to think, my goodness, how am I going to even communicate this to investors? How am I going to get my developer to understand what I want to do? That's what AI is going to transform. It's going to take ideas you have into very tangible content quickly. So you're able to say, this is the idea I have. This is how many weeks of, development I wanted to have. I want to write this to a developer. I wanted to be able to tell the developer how many sections I want the website or the idea to have on a portal or on an app or whatever it is. And the next thing is giving you your note. You send the note to the business analyst to be able to check it out to say, will this make me money? You send it to the developer. How long will it take so that I can put this into my business plan? You send it all out. That's taking those ideas into tangible content. That's AI for you. It does that. And then so you begin to see that even ideas folks own this age. I've always said when AI came out, I'm always saying, like I've been saying it, that gone are the days where ideas folks are asked to sit at the back so that those that can implement stuff can take the front. Now, because AI has brought everyone to a same level of implementation, let the ideas folks please stand up. That's where we are now. We're in a place where if you've got an idea, that's the difference between good output from ChatGPT or generative AI, whatever tool you're using, and great. So if you're an ideas person, welcome to our world, because now it is our time. And then lastly, AI is going to be able to mimic human creativity. Like it's going to give you something where as a human, when it gives it back to you, you don't have to be thinking like, oh no, it's too machinery. No, it all depends on the prompts, the way you write it, the way you ask it. Once you are patient with it and you're able to tune it, you'll be surprised how much of an human it actually seems like. And then it goes to the images as well. When you start thinking about how words are going to become, craft your words into imagery, we're going to get to that point. And that's why I like the fact that this session is happening now, because I know in a few days, in a few weeks, you can actually just say to ChatGPT or whatever it is and tell you, I need an image of a nice lady because I'm doing a product marketing project in Dubai. So I need you to please give me the image of a nice lady wearing a nice hijab and with a nice positioning that talks to her and her culture so that she understands exactly how to use my balm, which is my product. And before you know it, AI would bring it out. This nice picture. This is a positioning statement. This is your messaging. This is how many platforms you can put this. This goes on LinkedIn. This is the copy. And we're done. That's the level we're getting at. And that's the future. Like it actually is a near future. So it starts to take our concepts and breathes life into it, translating those ideas into visual masterpieces. That's exactly where we're going. So it can actually customize visual content for you at your fingertip. So we're going to be getting those apps very soon, where you can actually just put in these ideas, like I said, and it actually has your marketing stack waiting for you. I run a marketing agency and I go to bed every day asking myself, hey, we're going extinct in a few days because anyone that needs a marketing agency has to do is have the right AI tools and they have their stack waiting for them. But the truth about it is that it starts from the ideas. And I think now, more than anything, no matter what field you are in, as a marketer, you're in tech, you are in government, you are whatever it is that you do, you need to now stop putting so much emphasis on doing a perfect job and trying to ask yourself, what other skills do I have that are creative, that can add to my role or my job so that I can actually give it a vavavoom? Like, I know the implementation will be done, but how do I create something that actually helps my role and my job really stand out from the next person to me, because everybody's using the same tool, So how do you really get to do that? That's where you need to get to now. That's how you need to start thinking. You need to stand out with the way you think, because those tools to make it happen are coming, And then storytelling. Oh my goodness, I can't say this enough, but AI is going to help you tell stories. Many of us know how much storytelling differentiates a post from the next. If you're on LinkedIn, you know that. Someone posts a story with herself and our daughter, like I did a few days ago, and likes. You post a story that, oh my goodness, I went on safari and then I had this nice walk. I almost fell off the mountain, but I didn't. Oh my goodness, I came back. I'm great. Everybody's like. Another person, oh, I use this particular, tool. And at first I was dumb. They were like, no, don't say you're dumb. It's storytelling. So how now do you use a tool like AI to tell stories? Because people feel very insecure sometimes telling their stories. Other people feel they've told all their stories. What left to tell? But with AI, your brand, your personal self, all of this can start to happen with storytelling. You can actually tell it, please, can you help me write a story that evokes a lot of emotional connection that has to do with this particular product, what has to do with people riding bicycles, has to do with this and that, so that's the way you can start to actually use AI to evolve stories. And then at the same time, you can ask it to take on real-time insights as well, to be able to help you tell those stories so that it's as relevant as possible every day. So AI can help you actually craft your unique narratives, and with that, you're leveraging on emotion. You're getting the impressions you want to get. People are connecting with your brand. They understand how the story affects them. They understand how this actually matters to them, and they're moving on with that. Yeah, so that's something as well that would be great. Okay, I think I've clicked on something. Yep, let's go. Now that we've created the stories, now that we have everything that we need, what's next? How do we distribute this? So now we're going to go into things that have examples as well. So we're saying that in maximizing and in pushing all of this together, how do we then maximize engagement and conversion? Now we're going to harness AI's analytical power to be able to get people not to just walk past. So it means that creating content that actually speaks to the persona in a way that affects them. Amazon has mastered this really nicely. And that's why you have recommendations when you go to shop. That's when we send you emails, they send you things that they feel that actually speak to you and what you need. And that's the level that you're going to get to as a brand. We use Amazon now as an example and everybody's going, oh. But very soon, it's going to be a scenario where we all will be Amazons. Based on whatever product you have, you are an Amazon. You are someone that can actually tailor your emails to each of your clients or your customers in the way they want. That's the future. So you need to start thinking now and saying, do I have my setup? Do I have my tools? Do I have the way I'm set up in a way that I can actually think about who these personas are, start understanding who these personas are, how do they like to be served, and all of that, because very soon you can actually start creating content for each of them, pictures, videos, all of that speak to each of them. And this is an interesting aspect of AI and marketing, because you can actually start to do all of this today. So if you're someone that currently you're in your space, you can actually ask ChatGPT to look at your personas, look at your data, your track, and start to tell you, this particular client or customer is who I want to focus on for the month of October. Help me create content that would actually get them understanding that I know them. I know them like I'm their buddy, I'm their friend. They spoke to me yesterday about their problem. Yes, that kind of knowledge is the way I want them to feel that I know them. And so when all this is done right, you find out that more people engage with your emails, your posts. We've come off the age where we send one email to everybody. No way. That's not where we are anymore. If you're doing that in an organization, there's something going on there. You need to start spending that much time to understand, to research, to put some time in to say, who is my target? Who are my personas? How can I differentiate them? Now, how can I write for them? The way you write for some youngies is the different way that you write for some. Okay, sorry, that's AI also answering on my wristwatch. But yeah, so that's the way that things are beginning to go. Now, when you start also looking at how you then maximize the reach, LinkedIn, I'm sure many of you already have seen. If LinkedIn puts out a post from LinkedIn, you can't go near those statistics. And it's because they understand exactly when people like to see content, and they push it to you when you are comfortable seeing that content. We live in a global world now where some people are in Ireland, some people are waking up somewhere in Australia, some people are going to bed in India. So it's the kind of world we're going into. And you want to start creating products and creating initiatives and creating things that can actually serve a global audience, because now the world is that's your stage. So start thinking and saying, if I'm building a product now, I can't be building for Ireland only, or for the UK and Ireland, or for EMEA. How can I actually have a global content? Because when this is done with AI, I can actually make sure that my content is reaching each of my audiences at the right time based on their location, the time that they like to see things, and ensuring that this content reaches them at the peak of their own engagement. That's the power of AI. So it blows your mind. Like in a few months, I'm sure, things are going to be different the way we create content. And you need to start thinking about, do I have the team? Do I have the resource? Do I have the capacity? Do I even have the ideas to be able to push my brand, my product, the way I think, out of a bubble and start thinking of the globe as my stage? And then in looking at this as well, you're going to be able to use data to actually tailor everything you're doing to your clients in the way that they like to see things. So if you're someone that likes to write about travel, for example, you now need to know there are people that travel and they like to be indoors. And when I travel, I don't like to don't take me anywhere that is near a roller coaster. I don't want to see it. Because I once divorced my husband on a roller coaster. I told him, I don't want to get on the roller coaster. No, this is so easy, so simple. I got on that roller coaster and I was shouting, I divorce you. I divorce you. You never listen. I don't want to ever be with you. That's the way that it is when you start sending people things they don't want to see. Don't send me anything about my mountain hiking. I don't want to go near a mountain. Like, I'm Black. I don't know. Maybe there's some Black folks that like to hike, but I don't like to hike. You know, those are the few things that you start to know from where you understand your audience, and then you start to give them exactly what they need when they need it. Tailor content, tailoring your content, your messaging, the way you react to them, the way you actually respond to them in a way that gives it to them when they want it, how they want it. BuzzFeed, unfortunately, I think the company is going down now, but they did really well with being able to actually know what's trending, and they put that on BuzzFeed. I guess other things are the reasons why they're going down. But then artificial intelligence, like I said earlier on, is not about replacing humans. It's about amplifying our abilities and enhancing engagement, you know, just crafting experiences that take that connection and that experience to the next level. That's what it does, really. Like, let's take it to the next level. And for a while, people that are late to the market will end up getting there. But if you're like me, who heard about AI and went straight into it, then get ready with your business, because the time has come. The market is here, and we have to start thinking, how does our market like to take on their content and their information, and how do we support them with this? You know, so now let's talk about engagement enhancement. Now that we've created the content, now that we know how to distribute them on the platforms, how do we make sure that it's beyond clicks? You know, very soon, I really like this example. I'll tell you why, because it gets to a point with AI that people are actually going to be able to come on a post and be able to say, I like this post, keep reading, and then it continues. Just the way your ChatGPT will give you content now, and then it continues in that conversation. Or it says, no, what I want is something different. And then you click on that and it gives you something else entirely in that regard. We're moving beyond passive interaction. Like, you take a poll and then it says, oh yeah, nice poll. But New York Times did a poll in which if people picked A, then whatever they saw next was different from whoever picked B, you know, and then it just got to doing more. And then it almost like you're doing the, you know, like a nice game on your phone, all those games that they just sent into us. And then we're so deep into it and we can't get out of those games. That's the way it is. You do level 1, you want to try again, you want to try again. So it creates an immersive experience that encourages active participation. So by the time we're thinking about creating posts for any of our platforms, we're saying, if it's A, this is the way to continue. If it's B, this is the way it's going to continue. Because they're getting to a point where it's no more, and that's what I said at the beginning, it's no more about everybody I want to talk to. It's about that one person that I want to talk to about something that they need, that they didn't even know that they needed. That's what it is that a winning marketer, a winning business, a winning brand is going to be doing with AI for them to set themselves apart. You know, the rise of AI bots is going to be there. I know that Rebecca is coming on next week to talk about customer success and AI. You don't want to miss that session. If you really haven't signed up for that, you should sign up for that. You know, but with where we're going to be going when it comes to chatbots and, you know, customer engagement, it's going to take time. So that's the part where a lot of people are going like, it's going to take my job. No, it's going to allow you to go to bed in the evening because some robot is taking on that role and making sure that the customer experience doesn't end. And from the customer's point of view, it means they don't have to think about, oh, they would have closed at 6 p.m. I can't call anybody. No, they know if they go in there, they can actually find someone. And of course, what's interesting with all these brands and, they're coming up with all these AI robots is that they have different names. So you have Erica. Erica does product recommendations for Bank of America. So if you actually want a particular product or you want, oh, I'm a student, I have loans, but I don't know how to pay back. I just like to jive with my friends. I don't have anything I want to do in my life. I just want to cruise, marry somebody that is 70-year-old, who has a lot of money. He will will everything to me and I'll be fine. It will just recommend to you, oh, you are a great candidate for Dreamer accounts, stuff like that. That's the way that Erica works and the way all of those product stuff work. And I think that would be great, for customer success and customer engagement. Then again, you have things like Air by Tesla, which also just is a very great customer success, customer care rep that responds to customers about anything they want. I'm in the middle of the road. I don't have anybody to support me on my car. All of that comes together. All that we hear a lot of next week. Now that you have everything, how do you keep them hooked? What is best to talk about hooking up people than Netflix? Because what AI then can do is that it analyzes user behavior and preferences. It starts to say, this particular person comes on your blog every morning to read the news about stocks. And then you're beginning to see the data because AI will help you break down that data. So things that look like that only data analysts can understand, laymen like us can actually just ask AI, what does that mean? And it says, oh, it's Mr. Charles. He comes at 8 a.m. to read about stocks. So I may, that's cool. So that means that I can actually just put in the customization on my page so that when Charles comes in, he actually gets a, hi, Charles, welcome. This is your news for this. And Charles is like, my goodness. But then I'm sure Charles will be like, he's seen it everywhere because it's going to be everyday stuff. But you just don't want to be behind. It's going to deliver really customized, personalized content for people, for your customers, for the way that they do things. And it's going to create that content pathway for them. So if you're buying for a shop, for example, you want to go on Shopify, and then you want to be able to see just some particular kinds of shops, he already understands your pathway. He memorizes that pathway and gives you that pathway the next time you come. It makes your whole life so much easier. That way you can actually get to do things quicker, so everybody's an ecosystem, everybody wins. So Netflix has really powered this on, with the way they just say, hey, you seem to like this kind of movies, you should have a look at this. And it's interesting sometimes when I realize what Netflix was doing with AI, that maybe there's a movie, and that movie is not an emotional movie. But someone like me, I like to cry. If the movie is not making me cry, I've switched off. So I come on and I'm like, oh. So they put on the recommendation snippet is the area of the movie that makes you cry that they give to me. And then I get hooked and go like, oh my goodness, I wonder what happens. And then I click on the movie and then they start shooting. And I'm like, oh, you were crying in the nice thingy that you showed to me, they've mastered that. They know what catches people, and then they get you hooked on stuff like that. That's the area, that's where we're going to get to when it comes to things like that. And then when you start thinking about predictive analytics and AI, that's now like getting into the tech stuff. Any data analysts on the call, I know a lot of my colleagues and women in AI do all those really techy, geeky things. We, as well as marketers, as laymen, as bros, we will soon start to understand how predictive analytics helps. And I think that's also a part that a lot of people will be looking at when it comes to websites, when it comes to all these tools. I worked in HubSpot, and I know that a very big part of that was, how do you predict, for me, the attributes, the next action of my customer so that I'm able to solve for that need? Predictive analytics is going to be something that those that code needs to start thinking about, because that's what every marketer needs. We want to be able to forecast trends. We want to stay ahead of the curve. We want data-driven decision making. We want to be able to go to the CEOs, the CMOs, to be able to say, this is what our data is saying regarding our customers. This is what we need to do for them to do, for us to be able to move to the next level. And, in all of this together is exactly what I've been saying from the beginning. How do you know what the customer needs before they know it, if that's not predictive? So any coders here and all that and researchers, guys, please just help us make sure that the world we're going into has a lot of predictive analytics in it, right? So that we're able to really, really make magic with the way we create content, with the way we actually focus things, and make, our decisions. AI doesn't just predict the future. It should shape it by giving the audience what they need, even before they know what they want. That's the future we want with data, and then what's the impact of this on brands? Some examples here as well. Brands are going to be able to create their voice using real data. I was speaking to someone recently, and they had created this nice positioning, because I'm into product marketing. So I'm very much into positioning and, messaging. And they had created this nice positioning statement, and they had a word in it called control. And most of their target market is women. And I said to them, how do you go to market and your main word in your messaging, in your positioning says control? Women are they're your target. No woman wants to be controlled. And it's so much that many of them face control in their homes, in their lives, in their offices, from some bosses, and you want to throw it at them again when they come to purchase from you. Heck no, don't do that. So those are the few things that AI may be able to help brands with, to be able to say, how does this sound? I'm big on diversity marketing as well. And so things like this can also help brands not have to hire a whole team to look at that and just say, does this sound right? Is this something that, you would be able to put out to a diverse team? If you go to LATAM, for example, will they use this product, the same way if you go to Japan or Singapore, how will this sound? Again, remember, guys, the way that we're setting ourselves up now, and I guess maybe the reason why you're on this call and you didn't skip it, and some false just made you be here, is because you need to know that whatever it is you're building now can serve a global audience. It can serve a global audience, but you need to start thinking more broadly and asking yourself, how do I think big so that I'm able to actually localize in the way that makes sense? How can I think big in a way that I can actually have the voice and look at the target audience in that massive space? Because if you can think it, you can do it, because you've got the tools that you need now to make that happen. PepsiCo did that with the way that they actually went on a research to find out what do people like in the market regarding their product. And then they started to see how people were more into health trends and all of that. So they started doing things around health, even if they don't change their old product, but their conversations were health-based. They restructured their marketing campaigns to focus on healthier options. They just gave you options. It was AI that helped them to find that research, to understand that the way the market is going, you need to speak it, even if you're not doing it yet, so that they can actually want to listen to you. Industry shifts, AI will be able to give that to you. And let's talk about the chikims, the money. Before now, whenever you ask a marketer and you say, hey, what is the return on investment? We all look to the ceilings and ask ourselves, why are you asking me that? Like, how do I know the return on a brand? Like, it's just when people click and there's brand mention and there's top of mind awareness. But now we can actually, with AI, start to look at return on investment on our product. Coca-Cola was able to see 20% higher return on investment based on AI-powered campaigns versus traditional ones. So AI's ability to not just create engagement, but genuine resonance is a way for you to actually build a brand that gives you the return on what you need. Use AI to create your content. You're creating a campaign now. Use AI to build it. Put yourself into AI's shoes. Put your customer, your target audience into AI's shoes and tell it what you want, and see the result of this in the way people will respond to your storytelling, in the way they will respond to the times that you've posted for them. Because now we're transforming the future. We're saying that, how do we find a balance between automation and authentic engagement? Making sure that you find that balance is very important, because you'll be able to do so many things. But how do we make sure we find that balance? Don't leave everything to AI. I keep saying your ideas now need to come to fore. Your understanding of your personas and your target market comes to fore. Teach AI to do what you want. Don't leave all the work to AI. If not, I can promise you what you're getting out of it, Tina is getting the same thing out of it. And one day yourself and Tina will meet up and find out, do we have the same brain or what? No, you're giving the same lazy thing to AI and it's giving both of you your Tina responses. So you need to make sure that you don't leave creativity behind on the table of automation. Yeah. Just some case studies. Sephora, a brand I would always love for the way they went forward when it came to AI. They used it then when it has to do with how people were able to analyze, makeup shades, to the extent that you can actually just use your phone, you go on Sephora, you can actually just click on a button and it tells you, it looks at you put your camera, it looks at your skin tone and it tells you exactly the shade that you would use. That was AI, or that's AI, and it did a great deal for them. The market share they got, can you see? Remarkable 300% in their conversion rate. And they got a whole lot higher in customer satisfaction. When we think AI, when we think about what AI can do for our products, for our business, then we're starting to think about how to actually own the future. So if wherever you sit today on your business, Google it after this call, or start Googling it now if you want, and ask, how are people using AI in my industry? And then the next thing, you can use AI for that as well. After doing that, then ask ChatGPT, how can I be the best at this thing? And then it tells you the steps to take. And then invest yourself into that and make it really happen. This is my best watch on Netflix in a while, like Bandersnatch. I don't know how many of you have seen it. You can have a look at it when you do see it on Netflix. I'll tell you what happened. I was watching it when I was watching. And then it got to a point, it says, what do you think happened next? Or something like that. And then I said, this A happened next. Once I clicked A, the movie continued to the end. I was curious. I was like, what if I picked B and I went back and I picked B and the movie ended another way entirely? A movie. And that's just the beginning. And that's why I said earlier, imagine as well, someone comes to your website to shop for something and they go back in different ways. Like 3 of us come in, 3 of us go out in different ways because our journeys are different, our circumstances are different, what we want is different. And that's how, when you start to think about implementing all of this, think about how AI can actually, how do you integrate AI into your content marketing strategy? If you don't have a marketing strategy, that's also a good place to start. Once you know what your marketing strategy is, how do you integrate AI into it? You don't have to turn everything upside down in what you do. It's just you saying, what areas can we improve? Then let's take the time off that and put it into something else. If you've never hired someone that is great with ideas because you felt they were just mouth and they couldn't just deliver, this is a good time to find out on your team. Put out all those nice competitions internally within a team and see who's got great ideas, because now you need those with ideas to be able to nuance it with your algorithm to keep you way ahead. That's where you build a future-ready team. Start building a team that is empowered, that doesn't feel like they have to be shut down because they don't know how to get things done. AI is here to get things done. You need your business to be at the forefront of making things happen. Now you need to be thinking like you get to work every morning and there's almost like a hologram of each of your customer type. That's the area you want to get to, where you're so obsessed about your customer that you know them so well that when you write to them in email or when you write to them on your website or on your LinkedIn post, they feel it like, oh, thank you. You got me. Like, yes. Because you already understand them. If you have to spend a month of the year for 12 different types of customers, do it, because that means you will connect well in that month with that customer type, and then you get so much money from there. They will be super awesome, happy with you. So they stay with you the other 11 months that is not for them, but you would have moved on to another to get them as well. It's an old dream about customers. And now is the time to start really thinking, who is my customer? And then start to see how you can obsess with them, because now you have the right tools on how to create content to help them in their work. And then at the end of the day, balance it with a human touch, merge creativity with AI assistance, same thing, just make sure that the humans are there. Don't just immediately say, with what Adebola said, I might not need this content writer. I didn't say that. What I said is that you need to make sure your content writer is a thinker, is someone that would make sure that they are not lazy at creating with AI. They don't just feel that, oh, with AI, I can just do anything. Inspire your team. Let them see this vision like I've shown it to you today. Let them see how much your customers would mean to you, how much returns you get from your customers. If only you can be there for them, supporting them, helping them, creating content for them in the way that they want. When they want to respond to a customer inquiry, they don't just use what you've already put in the playbook for 500 years. They don't just they pull it out and then they put it into a nice one and say, I want to respond to this customer, but she's irate. She's not happy with us. She wasn't happy the last time. I just want to make sure she's fine now. Let her take that response and then send that one. That's the difference between good and great. And we want to make sure that we're not just good. We want to make sure we're at the forefront of the way we do business and we're great at it. So in a glimpse, what we're saying is, drum rolls, please. AI's impact on content marketing is transformative and it's promising. We have not scratched the top of it yet. We're just starting. Number two, let's embrace AI as a catalyst for creativity, for engagement and innovation. Let's strategically integrate that AI to create personalized, impactful content experiences. Because at the end of everything, when we do adapt, we win. We are the ones that get to win because when we embrace this, use every tool that we have, we're the ones that clients are going to be running after. We're the ones that are going to come in after and saying, we want your product just because we feel like family. We love the way we feel like family. Now is the time to really make them feel like family. So thanks, everyone. That's me.
Thank you so much, Adebola. Very impressive, very and great to have all the strategy key takeaways there. It's so important. There's so much there, and you are dead right to say we all need to think strategically on how we are going to work with those new tools. They are going to change our life, really, our working life and our personal life, I'm sure. And yeah, if we can do that together, if you can think ahead, that's a great thing to do. And I don't know if anybody had any question that's on the chat, so we could. Everybody is impressed. I did have one question actually, but I was wondering, one of the things with all the generative AI is so easy to make something look really great very quickly and very, very powerful content. And is that as well, how is that people are going to be inundated with a lot of great content, I suppose, very powerful content. How do you see, what can we do to actually keep people's attention, I suppose?
I think storytelling is going to play a very, very big part in whatever it is that we're going to be doing next. It's really going to be, and that's a cool thing, being able to tell a story to someone in the way that connects with them. It's just going to be a little bit of hard work because you're going to have to really, really be invested in it to do it. And and that's why I always talk about, relationship and family, like a mother and a child, whatever it is, you have to feel it, to be able to go all out for them. If you do like a friend, you would want to go all out for that friend. And I think I think product owners, I think brand managers, they need to get to that point where they love and understand and want to see their customers succeed, because when they do get to that stage, then it's easier for them to create stories to support them. It's easier for them to create content that actually does work and help them solve faster for the things that they want as customers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important indeed. We do have a few questions. We have two questions around the same. Are there any specific AI technologies that marketing would be using or marketing content creation?
That's the thing. I've heard that quite a bit in a few gatherings. And I want to make this caution. Something I'm beginning to also realize is that many of the brands or products or companies that just heard AI and went on to go and develop for it, they are breaking. Many of those tools are breaking. The only one that has not broken is ChatGPT, So they are fine-tuning as they go. So as many tools come to you as possible, I would suggest that they have an opportunity for you to try it out before you invest money into them. So there are so many of them. There are tools that help you as well for even creating posters, creating content and all of that. There are some that would suggest to you where to get your next pictures. There's so many of them, but just make sure that whatever tool that you're using, try it out, see whether it actually is able to deliver what you want before you invest anything into it, because many of them as well, as because it's new, are just jumping on some things, and it's not as fine-tuned on the marketing side of things, especially. That I'm focused mainly on the marketing side of things. But as it continues to evolve and grow, I'm sure there's going to be so many that we'll use. I usually just Midjourney for images, and of course ChatGPT. I have this thing called Pocket AI as well. Just mix it all up. Yeah.
It's changing every day, indeed.
It changes every day.
We need to keep watching. And the question: what are some quick wins do you think we could use in marketing to begin to introduce a concept to our teams?
Teams quick wins. There's this thing I always talk about, not leaving anyone behind. And I think that's where the power of teams come in when it comes to AI. Not everyone is going to be at the same level. Some people are going to be slower than others in adopting AI. And if you have a weak teammate, a weak link within the team in adapting and adopting AI, is going to slow everybody down. So when it comes to the team, I would say that use it as a team activity first. Then you're able to identify those that are like naysayers, like, no, I don't like to use, and then you're able to then focus on those ones to say, what are the activities that you can use to actually, bring them on board and get them to actually use AI. Team activity is very cool. You can actually put a story out there and tell everyone to create their own version of it in AI. It tries to tell you how everyone thinks based on the way they use ChatGPT. That's always a cool one, because you get to see how your team, thinks, and you can easily identify as well the ones that are not so creative, and then you start aligning who goes where, who does what within the team. It's very, very powerful to bring the team along, but don't leave anyone behind.
Yes, there's lots in there. We're running out of time a bit. I just put a link to the feedback form. We'd love to hear what you think, and if there's anything you'd like changed. And for anybody who is interested into being a speaker as well, there's another form that you can fill in.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for coming through. Please fill the feedback form, and I'm just really, really grateful to everyone. Thank you for the feedback as well. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Adebola. It's a great presentation, very insightful.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.